fun and really accurate one, just check on the web for some team scouting reports.
Looks really cool.
We have dude, give me a baseball card. I can have a hockey card talking about a baseball episode.
I only have a bat down and Cunha.
Can I just get rid of it? Hello and welcome everyone back to yet another episode of Red Cave Sports. My name is Bird Bouchard, and guys, today's episode is going to be a lot more serious. Stop wasting your money. I love you all. You guys have all been great supporters of Red Cape Sport, and therefore I need to tell you all a very tough message. You're wasting your money. Plain and simple. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people watch this channel love prospecting baseball players. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's something I do myself as well. To me, it's basically the same as when you jump into a break and when you try to get lucky. It's the same as a scratch off. It's the same as trying to win the lottery. Prospecting in baseball is high risk, decent reward, sometimes very high reward. But for the most part, you know, and honestly, this is what we wanted to talk about here today on today's episode, is every time you prospect, you are, for the most part, putting lots of money and betting on a kid. Honestly, they're kids. They're 18, 19, 21-year-old kids are the prospects in baseball. And for the most part, every single baseball team in the major leagues out of 30 teams has an active roster of 40 players. Some are reserves. For the most part, these prospects that Topps and even Bowman and all these different products that they put out, I want to say more than half of these ball players won't even get their chance to shine. They're not even going to make it. Now, obviously, there's different metrics and different websites and different tools and, you know, different people who you can listen to help you out, you know, and get a really good idea if these guys are going to be good players. And for the most part, though, these guys aren't going to cut it. And even if they do become really good ball players, you know what? You're probably not going to make your money back. Mitch and I, before we were recording this, you know, we were talking about how great of a ball player Rafael Devers was. Let's say you prospected him. This is a guy who's a really good, consistent ball player. You know, he's putting up great numbers, 100 RBIs type of thing, you know, hitting 300, 30 RBIs. You would kill to have that on your ball team. But at the end of the day, his card prices just aren't that high. He's not a very desirable player. So again, it's high risk, high reward. You know, if Jason Dominguez playing on the New York Yankees turns out to be that superstar player, insert prices here of his cards, people were going nuts for him. And he has still not had one plate appearance in Major League Baseball. So to me, you know, even if he does hit, and if you do hit the jackpot, you know, when those cards came out, if you purchased them, that's a lot of money being tied up. Where in my opinion, you know, you could go out and purchase more established ball players and, you know, make money quicker if you're looking into even a quick flip, a longer flip, no matter the case. The reality is this group of rookies right now in the 2022 class might be honestly the best class that we've ever seen in Major League Baseball. Now, weed out all the guys who, you know, are going to be bullpen guys, are going to be guys who maybe have a handful of starts in their careers. You know, weed out all those guys. You know, we're focusing on Bobby Witt Jr. We're focusing on a guy like Wander Franco. We're focusing on a guy like Adley Rutschman, who we've spoken about before on this channel. Spencer Torkelson. There's so many different guys. Riley Green, you know, the list goes on and on. And the reason being for that is there's now incentives for Major League Baseball teams with draft picks and so many different things, right? They want these guys to play, right? They're being rewarded now if they come in, you know, basically like the top 10 for Rookie of the Year and MVP voting with draft picks. So they want these guys to play, and they will play. You know, and then add on to that, and you're going to see more rookie debuts happening earlier because basically what's happened is Major League Baseball tried to one-up us and say, okay, we're not playing this year. And all these rookies were in the minor leagues at the time, getting their regular workouts, getting their regular routines, playing really great baseball because their season was still going to go on. And that's why you've already seen a guy like Julio Rodriguez make the big league club and already record his first big league hit. Now, the thing with Julio Rodriguez is there's a lot, and I mean a lot of hype on him. The same thing with a guy like Bobby Witt Jr. I'm really high on Bobby Witt Jr. I'm really high on Adley Rutschman. Adley Rutschman still hasn't made his major league debut. He's getting older. He's going to be 23 in a blink of an eye before you know it. So all that just to say, you know, a guy like Paul Goldschmidt, who's a phenomenal player, he debuted rather late as well. So, you know, there's just really too many uncertainties in the game. You can go cold. You can have an injury. You can, you know, honestly, you can be like, I hate to say it, knock on wood, but Fernando Tatis Jr. I still believe he's a phenomenal investment, but if you got in at the wrong time, those card prices started to dip because he cannot remain healthy. So all that just to say, guys, there's a lot of different variables that go into it. Kudos to you. If you hit the nail on the head, if you hit the jackpot, you did well. However, I would rather spend my $500, $1,000, whatever it might be, on perhaps a more established player who I think is more reliable. A guy like a Mookie Betts, maybe. Whoever it might be. Maybe a guy who I believe is going to make the Hall of Fame, and Albert Pujols, playing in his last season ever, returning back to St. Louis, playing with his buddies Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina. It's just a beautiful story. He's 21 home runs away from 700. So again, you know, I'm not saying to go out and buy him, but personally I believe he's a good buy. So yeah, guys, just honestly do your due diligence, do your research. Don't just go out and buy every single prospect under the sun because people on YouTube say that they're a good buy. They might make you a lot of money, but for the most part, you're gambling. It's a risky business, and I do not advise you to do it. Go out and do your research. Invest into more established players. Established players, to me, honestly, could already be a guy like Juan Soto. He's only 23 years old, but he does have the track record of 3-4 years under his belt. So again, guys, just to wrap this all up once again, high risk, high reward, but for my likings, and again, I'm not saying you have to, I would personally rather spend that money onto guys who I believe are more of a safer bet, because you can still make money on them, you can still enjoy watching them. And if, however, in the future, if these young prospects after a year or two start to pan out, yes, you might pay a little bit more, or you can just buy their base rookie cards and not their Bowmans or anything like that. So you do have a lot of different options, and who knows, you know, could be a guy like Shohei Ohtani who doesn't break out until 3 years later down the road. There's a lot of options. Shohei Ohtani's a guy who just did unprecedented stuff, just won, you know, most valuable player in the league, and his card prices are still undervalued. Well, that does it for this installment of Red Cape Sports. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and leave us a thumbs up. It really helps us out to grow the channel and to reach more people who love sports card collecting as yourself. And just a reminder, if you guys are interested in learning more than just what we put out here on YouTube, down below in the video description, there is a link to our Udemy course. Ultimately there, you guys can learn tons of different things on how to collect sports cards, protect them, and ultimately invest in the sports card industry. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Till next time.
Since this was my first episode, I'd like to thank everyone who watched this video, and hopefully that you can type or email me some next questions for my next episode. Alright, bye.